Joining us now is OjyOkpe, with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Those are the many surprises we provide on the morning show.
Who are they?
Yeah,
Who are they?
Oh gosh, I am here. I don't know. I mean, I'm fine. You send me a message, I'm fine. I saw everyone like, I am okay. I know they travel. I did here. Can't pay.
Not the waste. Oba not the go transfer.
Has too much. We have too much fun on the morning show. Well, thank you for sticking with us. Well, good morning to you viewers. Let's begin what's trending. Senate President Godswill Akpabio on Tuesday was trending after he apologized to Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, senator representing Kogi Central, for telling her not to speak like she was in a nightclub during a plenary session last week. Akpabio said that after the incident, his phone crashed and his wife was bombarded with phone calls, and most of the calls were insults. Akpabio also denied rumors that he's having extramarital affairs, saying that he only has one wife and he's satisfied with her. Let's take a look.
To my colleagues, I have only one, and I'm satisfied with that one. And she's a beautiful and loving woman. I will not intentionally denigrate any woman. I have a wife, I have 4 daughters, and I always pray that God will lift a girl child to the highest zenith in Nigeria, politically and in business. I also want my children to do well. So, distinguished Senator Natasha, I want to apologize to you if you felt offended. If I had mentioned that we are not in the market, they will say I said you are a market woman. If I said that you were not in a nightclub where people shout above the noise of the music, they will say you went to nightclub. If I said you were not in a community meeting in the village, they will say Akpabio says Natasha is a village woman. But I felt that I should tender a public apology to you over the miscommunication and the misunderstanding. So do accept my apologies, and my colleagues, or anybody who could have felt offended, accept my apologies. I did not mean any harm, and I did not mean what they are misinterpreting in the social media. And I hope this will come to an end, and people should concentrate on things that will move this country forward, and not things that will divide us. So I hope the apology is accepted.
All right, Dr. Abati, welcome back. You know I'm coming to you on this story. You weren't here yesterday when we discussed this story. It is a pleasant surprise that, Akpabio has apologized to Natasha Akpoti. We discussed the women's group, actually just asking him to, treat women better. But here we see Akpabio saying that he only has one wife, no side chicks, right? Because we took that story. I don't know what you're laughing about.
Why are you laughing, Ayo?
He says he only has one wife. And he's very, very, very satisfied with her.
The issue raised by the blog,
yes,
which Kenny Okulubo tried to address, it's not about whether he has 3 wives or he has 2 wives. Mm-hmm. It's about alleged phallic adventurism. The phallic adventurism that has been reported, that has now resulted in cease and desist notices being written, persons alleging that they will go to court because they've been defamed. Now, it's an issue that the Senate President, unfortunately, may still have to address at a later date, because if the matter goes to court, he may be asked to come and provide evidence whether he was found in a phallic compromised position with some of the personnel, of the dramatist personnel in the narrative that Gistlover has put out. But I think that all of these are distractions.
Yes.
Whether it's the issue about Natasha Akpoti or about the blog. I don't want to mention the name of the blog reporting the story.
We did yesterday.
I think more important is the point raised in the course of our discussion with Kenny Okulubo. What is the Senate President doing, or the Senate generally, to work on female representation,
yes,
increase female representation in the National Assembly. They just finished election in Rwanda. Yeah. Special seats were reserved for young people, for women, for persons living with disability. You know, and it's the same case you have maybe in Senegal, in Uganda, in some other, Kenya also, South Africa, you know, countries in Africa. We would like to see more women, more female voices in the National Assembly of Nigeria. All these issues about, I know the husband attended their introduction. Look, Nigerians are more interested in serious issues, not all these issues about, you know, where the Senate president went and all of that. You know, when I expressed my view on the matter, I didn't think it was putting her down. I just said, Natasha Akpoti is not somebody you can put down. The father is chairman of the National Assembly. It's just a position. First among equals. Right. All the senators were elected into that place. You know, no senator is superior to the other.
Absolutely.
So we should not give the impression that maybe the Senate president is some kind of superior being.
All right.
No, it's not. It's just first among equals.
Ayo, you know what I loved about his speech, obviously, was the fact that he talked about his wife and how he's very satisfied with his wife. You know, I love romance. Yes, because only yesterday we took Dakore's story and, you know, she was very upset and she was, you know, denying that rumor. So quickly tell me the difference between side chicks and
okay, so, you know, we're having a conversation around the fact that, you know, analyzing that speech, that he said categorically that he has only one wife.
Yes.
And of course, no one did did the blog say that he had two wives? They didn't say he had two wives. They just mentioned people that Dr. Bati Falik that he had adventurers and adventurers. Oh no, you don't need to tell me. No, it's all right. So Falik adventurism with. So that didn't. But a wife is a wife, and you know it was good to see the picture of him and his wife looking cozy, and he said he's satisfied with her.
I love it.
That is beautiful to hear. And Dr. Bati, I'm sorry to say, when you say Nigerians are not interested, they're not interested in what? They're interested in the news. He's not just that, he's not interested.
But he also clarified.
He's a pastor.
Yes, he's a pastor. She knows. She loves
He's a pastor.
But
you hear what pastor is saying?
So even in the churches, you engage in gospel.
He also loves, you know, he talked about girls' rights.
Yes.
We are going to excuse Rufai from this conversation.
I love the fact that he talked about his daughters. And I'm very happy he said that he has 4 daughters. And that he would want to see, and I'm glad that he's talked about the fact that he has women in his home he's raising. And so I'm hoping that would even be a personal motivation to see more women represented in politics. So jokes aside, I think it was a fantastic apology, to be fair.
All right.
You know, if the first one everything.
Well, what can we say? Kudos.
Kudos.
Well done.
Very good one.
Well, all right. We'll take another story. The president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has been invited by Brice Nguema, the president of Gabon, to invest in cement and fertilizer production in the country. Dangote met with Nguema and other top government officials during the visit to the country. The focus of the meeting was how Dangote Industries could contribute to Gabon's economic growth by establishing the cement and fertilizer plants, which the president said are vital for the country's infrastructure development and agricultural productivity. I mean, this made headlines today. It was beautiful to see it also on the cover of this day today. And you know, the front page was saying things like Aliko was rejected at home and he is welcome abroad. I mean, this is completely amazing to see that people are celebrating our philanthropies in the way that they have done. Well, billionaire businessman Femi Otedola has joined the circle of prominent Nigerians mustering support for the president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, saying that visionaries like Dangote are needed to build a nation's economy because their legacies remain long after they have left the stage. Well, Otedola, who is reputed as strongman of Nigeria's financial and capital markets after acquiring the single largest shareholding in FBN Holdings, in a post that has garnered over 1 million views on X, recounted the contributions and vast impact that his longtime associate has made in the country and beyond. Well, his tweet reads in part, "My brother, the visionary, has built the largest single train refinery in the world, not in Kano, but in Lagos State. He is the owner of the second largest sugar refinery in the world, also in Lagos State, and the largest cement factory in the world, not in Kano, but in Kogi State. Additionally, he has established one of the second largest fertilizer plants in the world, soon to surpass the biggest one in Qatar, also in Lagos State. Furthermore, he has built a fertilizer plant in Lagos that already exports globally. Aliko Dangote is a titan that God created specially for mankind. Aliko Dangote is also the largest private sector employer of labor in the country, and his companies are among the largest taxpayers. In fact, the Dangote Group often pays more in taxes than the top banks combined. If not for him, we will still be importing cement. Countries in the nascent stages of industrialization require visionary leaders. This is why it's no surprise that the United States was built by the vision and tenacity of a few remarkable individuals: Cornelius Vanderbilt, John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, and Henry Ford, the men who built America's industrial landscape. These men left the world without these assets, but left behind a legacy that has kept their country thriving generation after generation. Their contributions were immortalized not in the material wealth they amassed, but in the enduring institutions and industries they established. These visionaries were also supported by their government, which recognized the importance of fostering local champions. Similarly, today's tech giants like Microsoft and Tesla received substantial support from the US government. In Nigeria, we have our own titans, and it is imperative that we recognize and support them. Aliko Dangote has broken every boundary in worldwide business and industry. His contributions are not just a testament to his brilliance, but a beacon of what is possible when vision meets opportunity. Supporting local champions like Dangote is crucial for our national development and economic independence. Let us continue to foster and support these visionaries who drive our nation's progress. Brilliant, brilliant tweet there. You weren't here, Dr. Bati, yesterday when we discussed the same topic, where the president of the African Development Bank, Akiwumi Adesina, also supported Dangote in this manner. It is good to see that Femi Otedola has come out to support his longtime friend as well. I mean, the information online is that he is also, he had been very supportive throughout the whole rancor that has been going on with this Dangote shenanigans.
You see, what Otedola said is pretty much what I mentioned yesterday. And I mentioned the names of Cornelius Vanderbilt and the railroad, Andrew Carnegie and Steele. But I'm going to tell you a quick story. How titans like Dangote changed the world. I'm going to tell you the story of a man called John Pierpont Morgan, J.P. Morgan. Many years ago in America, a certain young man, Thomas Edison, came with this idea of electricity. Pierpont Morgan was a financier. In fact, Pierpont Morgan's father was against him supporting this idea of electricity. So he was fighting Pierpont Morgan, and I've told you to stop investing in these new stupid technologies like he called it. But Pierpont Morgan was persistent. And that's why the first electricity demonstration anywhere, the first house where they had electricity in the world was in the house of Pierpont Morgan. 100 years after today, or many years after, if Pierpont Morgan has not funded electricity, are we going to have a Rice television on TV, the electricity you use, the TV screens, and electricity power and all of that? Edison has started the work. Nikola Tesla and the likes worked on it. But it took a Pierpont Morgan's funding. It wasn't the American government that funded that innovation. It was Pierpont Morgan. Pierpont Morgan, at a point where America was in doldrums, bailed out the government of America. What am I saying? You need top industrialists.
Absolutely.
And what Otedola said, the man that built America, please, for further watching, you can go and watch it. That story is immortalized in a documentary series called The Men That Built America, where they talked about Henry Ford, where they talk about Andrew Carnegie, where they talk about Cornelius Vanderbilt, where they talk about Pierpont Morgan. these were the men that built America.
Absolutely.
See, today, Cornelius is dead, but the railroad still exists.
You said it all, Rufai. I mean, this is
Support
exactly the point, to immortalize greatness. I mean, Dangote will be here and he would leave, but his legacy will continue to live on. All these dream killers in Nigeria. I mean, I saw an article on the Punch newspaper. I believe it was yesterday. If we can pull up that article, I'd like for you to guess quickly, Ayo, who this friend is that won Dangote against investing in Nigeria. That is now talking. Do you want to guess?
I never know.
We can't guess.
No,
Okay, we can't guess
who
who his friend is. But anyway, it's good to see that, you know, a great friend like Femi Otedola has been supporting Dangote in the way that he has been doing over the years. Good job, Femi Otedola. Well, over the weekend, when Dangote met with members of the House of Representatives, he said that some personnel of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, all traders and terminals, have opened a blending plant in Malta, affirming that he knows the areas and knows what they are doing. Let's take a look.
We know where they blend this in. Some of the terminals, some of the NNPC people, and some traders have opened a blending plant somewhere off Malta. We all know these areas. We know what they are doing. It's not that we don't know.
Well, all right, Dr. Bati, I believe we also talked about this earlier, where I believe NNPC had, Mele Kyari had debunked this rumor about, being part of anyone who has a blending plant in Malta, because we've seen these stories circulating on social media about these blending plants that have been importing adulterated fuel, and it's good that Mele Kyari has debunked it, but there are also a lot of other people that they've been talking about owning these companies in overseas. But also, I'd like to take Peter Obi's tweet, because he's also one of the people that supported Dangote in this whole rally. We talked about Femi Otedola, Akinwumi Adesina. Let me take Peter Obi's tweet. Well, he wrote, the federal government and its agencies need to recognize the significance of Dangote's contributions. Alhaji Dangote is not just a businessman. He's a national and African brand, symbolizing patriotism, commitment, and impactful entrepreneurship. Despite operating in a challenging business environment, he has established a remarkable industrial hub in Nigeria, encompassing over 15 sectors, including cement, sugar, salt, fertilizer, infrastructure, and more. Alhaji Dangote's unwavering dedication to Nigeria's industrialization, job creation, and economic growth, despite adversities, warrants full support and protection. In the interests of Nigeria and its citizens, as well as Africans at large, I urge the federal government and its agencies to provide Dangote Industries, especially the refinery, with all the necessary support. The success of Dangote is linked to the success of Nigeria and Africa. Conversely, its failure would be a significant setback for both Nigeria and the continent. I mean, this is not surprising. This is actually re-echoing the calls that we have made right here on this program.
Well, I think it's a good thing that everyone is supporting Alhaji Aliko Dangote. The support by Femi Otedola is a special one. A friend supporting another friend, but it's not just about friendship. It's also significant. The strong man of the market and stock market in Nigeria, of the economy and stock market, supporting the strongest investor in Nigeria and providing the appropriate context in terms of the place of Dangote within the Nigerian economy. He has the single largest refinery in Africa. He has the single largest cement factory. He is the largest employer of labor. So a man like Otedola can identify with him beyond friendship, but his strategic value as a man who believes in Nigeria, a patriot, who Nigeria has even honored with the GCFR National Award. And, the this day cover today is also very relevant. This groundswell of support. You have mentioned Mr. Peter Obi. There's also Atiku Abubakar, yes. The Waziri Adamawa, Nasima, is supporting him. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is supporting him. There are lessons here. For Farouk Ahmed, the risk of careless talk.
Yes.
He's an adult. So I hope he has learned.
But didn't the House of Reps ask that
House of Reps is saying he should be suspended.
Suspended, yes.
And then 2, what has been demonstrated in all of this is that, you know, Dangote is not just an investor, he's of great value to the economy. Fantastic. And I think the same can be said for other investors in this economy, so that it doesn't become a habit to devalue, to demarket people who are trying to make contribution to this economy. They are asking for Dangote in Gabon.
They are.
I hope we will not get to a point where we'll be begging him not to go to Gabon.
All right. Well, let's take our final story then. As the young people of Nigeria mobilize for a nationwide protest over the rising cost of living and economic hardship, the special assistant to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on social media, Olusegun Dada, on Tuesday warned against the protest in a post on X, saying that those who want to burn down the country under whatever guise will face the strongest resistance. The protest is reportedly slated for August 1st to run through the 15th. His comments come after the special advisor to President Tinubu on information and strategy alleged that supporters of Peter Obi are behind the proposed nationwide protest, while Peter Obi, on the other hand, has issued a 72-hour ultimatum to Bayo Onanuga to retract the alleged defamatory statement against him and a public apology published in 4 national newspapers or face legal action. He is also demanding 5 billion naira in damages. I mean, this is a big story. I mean, we did discuss this. When we brought this story, we did say, is Peter Obi going to sue? Yeah. But you know what? Bayo Onanuga has responded as well. This is what he wrote on Twitter. He wrote, I am still waiting for the letter from Peter Obi's lawyer threatening a 5 billion naira suit and demanding an apology to Peter Obi over the planned revolution. Let me just tell Obi and his lawyer, I am not afraid of any legal action. We shall meet in court. We shall meet in court. I mean, I don't even know how to react to this conversation.
Obi, go to court.
Okay.
Onanuga told Obi, go to court.
Yes.
Let's meet in court.
So what, I mean, what is this? He's not apologizing, even though Peter Obi has come out to say that he's not part of the protest. He's not mobilizing his supporters.
He who alleges must prove.
Yes.
I'm glad that Dr. Bata has already highlighted or specified that Mr. Bayo Onanuga can be sued.
Yes.
He's not protected by immunity. And I do hope that following the fact that obviously he doesn't plan to apologize, and Mr. Peter Obi will sue. Because we cannot have, individuals, whether speaking on behalf of the president or in their own capacity, make statements that are not factually based and not be able to substantiate it. It doesn't do well for our democracy. Beyond that, I'm hoping that, and we said that spokespeople should maybe modify their language so as not to aggravate the young people any further, because what they're trying to do is to prevent a protest. Right. By doing this and towing this line, he's going against what they're trying to prevent. He's
acting like he has some sort of intelligence.
Nobody should forge out.
Nobody should. I don't know where he's getting his information.
It is within the rights of Mr. Peter Obi to defend his reputation. If you feel you have been defamed, you defend yourself. But it's not automatic that when you sue, the other party will start shaking.
Yes.
The court is also under obligation to listen to 2 sides of the story.
Yes.
Audi, Alteram, Partem.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why Mr. Onanuga is saying, well, we'll meet in court, because the court will hear 2 sides.
Absolutely.
As for the protest, some people have been misinforming Nigerians that for you to protest, you have to get police permits. There's no such thing. That matter was settled in IGP versus AMPP and others, a 2007 case. Because I thought I had somebody on TV, saying one retired senior police officer saying you have to get police permit.
Yes.
Nigerians don't need to get police permit.
Well, all right, trust Dr. Bati to always set the record
What
straight.
Nigerians cannot do is to be violent.
Absolutely.
That is not
That is not acceptable. But all right, as we always say on this table, for Bayo Onanuga, he who alleges must prove. I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.